I watched Secret Invasion. Now, I'm only here to let the people who are not familiar with Marvel, don't understand canon, aren't necessarily superhero fans, but love maybe Nick Fury. Most of us know Nick Fury, or love Samuel L. Jackson. Like, that's what I'm here for. I've seen a lot of these films and not a lot of the TV shows. I have not seen a lot of the TV shows. So I was worried that a lot of it will go over my head. But I only want to review this series because Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson is starring. And for people who don't follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think this is a good show. There's a scene in the beginning that I thought was somewhat graphic. Now, a lot of this episode, this is the first episode in a series, a first season rather, of 6 episodes. So there's 6 episodes and it'll be released every week. They cover a lot. There's heavy exposition in this particular episode, and I think that's to invite those of us who are not familiar with canon, don't know about the blip, didn't see all of the, like, if you didn't see Avengers, because there's some Avengers Easter eggs in here. They talk about Thanos. Like, there's some Easter eggs here. If you didn't see many of the Phase 4, if you didn't catch the movies in Phase 4 or TV shows in Phase 4, I think you can follow along in this story. I did, because I missed some films and definitely a lot of the TV shows in Phase 4. I think you can follow along for sure. So who's attached? Obviously Samuel L. Jackson. Then you have Olivia Colman. She makes a micro appearance in this episode, but she's in all 6 episodes. You have Ben Mendelsohn, who was just recently in To Catch a Killer. Please watch that movie if you haven't seen it. He's attached. I like his character. He plays Talos. Then you have Colby Smulders, who you'll remember from How I Met Your Mother. She's in this. I won't spoil. You have Don Cheadle. He's in 1 episode, and it's really small, which is odd. But he's in this particular episode, and it's very small. That was unfortunate. Dermot Mulroney is in it. He is in 2 episodes. He wasn't in this one. I didn't see him. Amelia Clark's in it. She has a prominent role. She's in the whole season. And you have Kingsley Ben-Adir. You'll remember him. He is playing Bob Marley later this year, but he also played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. So it's stacked. There are plenty more, but this is really interesting. So there are some Skrulls. Skrulls are aliens who are trying to take over our planet Earth, and they can shapeshift into anyone at any time. So it was believed that there were about 10,000, but there may be many more than that. And so they're shapeshifting anyone. I was believing that. So how, and this is not a spoiler because this was in the trailer. The trailer, if you've seen the trailer, how Nick Fury comes to Earth, he looks like this alien figure, not like a Skrull, but he looks like this alien figure. From the trailer, I thought was odd how he appears, because in that figure, the way it's lit, he looked like an alien. He really looked like an alien. Tell me, I don't know if Nick Fury is supposed to be an alien, but he looks like an alien. And what this may eventually chronicle is these Skrulls appearing or shape-shifting like Nick Fury. For this episode, I was questioning whether or not this was the Nick Fury. This was really Nick Fury. I won't spoil whatever goes on, because I admonish you to see this series, and especially to see the first episode, because I think if you are not, a superhero fan, I think you can still like this series. I really do. If you like episodic dramas, I think you can follow along with this, because they explain what's going on and they give you enough backstory to carry you along. Now, there were a few things when they talk about Thanos, I didn't understand what it meant. So that went over my head. And the blip, I don't know which blip. Which one are they talking about? I don't know which blip they're talking about, so I was a little confused there. But I don't think you have to know everything to get the larger story. That's what I'm getting at. To get the larger story, I don't think you need to know every little thing, because I think they're bringing along even the greenest neophyte that doesn't know much about Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you don't know a lot, I think they tell you enough to get this story, to get what's going on in this series. I liked it. It's filmed good. There's enough, not jump scares, but enough tension building. They definitely define the world and the rules of this particular world. There's enough mystery going on. I think the ending had a cliffhanger for sure, so I'm definitely looking forward to the next few episodes to see how they connect to this story. I think Kingsley Ben-adir's character, he's a Skrull. I think he's very scary. Now, Emilia Clarke, I think it's important to note, her character is Ben Mendelsohn's daughter. His wife died, and they are estranged. He is a Skrull, but he's a good Skrull. He's one of the good ones, and he is friends with Nick Fury. So they're friends. I don't know how this is going to play out with the Skrulls coming after him, because maybe he's a traitor. That's what I'm getting, that he's traded on his Skrulldom or his alien community. I don't know. He is somewhat a traitor, but Gia is so brainwashed that she's even turning on her father, Talos. So I'll like to see where that story is going. I recommend seeing, if you don't have Disney Plus, I think it's a good time to jump in now to get so that you can get to see this series, because I think it's worth the subscription to get Disney Plus now to see Secret Invasion, because it looks like this is going to be a great mini-series. Criminal Minds director Ali Salim directed this episode. This pilot episode is called Resurrection. I feel a Criminal Minds aesthetic in this episode somewhat. It does feel not episodic, it just feels like there's an investigation. It has that sort of Criminal Minds investigation type of aspect that involves different entities within the government type of feel to it, and how it connects to everyone to try to figure out or stop these Skrulls from taking over Earth. I don't know, it just has that feel, that crime episodic kind of feel and look to this episode. And if you watched Mr. Robot, then you're familiar with Kyle Bradstreet's writing style. He's the showrunner of this series. So I like where it's going. You can jump in now if you're not familiar with this section of the cinematic universe, MCU. I think you can jump in. So far, it's good. You know that Samuel L. Jackson is bringing it. Olivia Colman had a little part, but she's good. I'm looking forward to seeing what else she brings. Emilia Clarke had a more prominent role. Ben Mendelsohn had a prominent role. I'm going to like to see the dynamic between this father-daughter estrangement. Of course, Kingsley Ben-adir is a villain, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings as a Skrull that can shapeshift into anyone, and who is he going to shapeshift. And I like the idea that we're not going to know who's who, because again, I was wondering if this was the real Nick Fury. in this episode. There's some humor I liked in here. I like the dynamic between Nick Fury and Talos. So far, off to a good start. I'm looking forward to episode 2. If you're going to ever jump into Disney Plus, jump in now. At any rate, the first episode of Secret Invasion's 6-episode season is streaming on Disney Plus now.